Which house is this? Is the house next door? I don't think this is the original house with the Ferris wheel that Rick has settled into. Unfinished rooms at an attic? Clean clothes, right, Maggie? Or linen. I don't know what she was smelling.
How long was I in there for? 20 minutes. I cannot stop rushing. I've never seen your face like that. That's what I felt before and after.
Wait a second. When they met at the when Michonne first saw Rick at the prison, did he have a beard? I don't remember. Hold on. Let me check. So I checked. He just had a small little scruff. He wasn't bearded. So Michelle said that's the first time she's seen him fully clean shaven. So that might be true, but it's not that much of a drastic difference from when she first saw him at the prison. But did you notice when Michonne came out, Rick went to greet her as she came out of the bathroom from brushing her teeth? And on top of that, not only did he go to greet her as she came out, because so it shows that he was waiting for her. She just made an innocuous statement saying, "How long was I in there?" Not really asking, just it was really making a statement, but she did it in a question form, and Rick was ready with an answer. He knew. He was counting the minutes Michonne was in the bathroom. He said 20 minutes. So he was waiting for her. And again, people are just going to ignore that. He wasn't waiting to see how long Maggie was probably in the shower, or Carol, or Zeke, or whatever. It was Michonne he was waiting for. And he literally pranced in front of her. He wanted her to notice his clean shaven face. He wanted her to notice, and he was shy about it. Remember, I told you, Rick is not assured or confident around Michonne. One, because he has feelings for her that he's hiding. And two, Michonne is not the type of woman he's used to. Remember, we discussed before that Rick wasn't a ladies' man in the sense that he wasn't very experienced. So when I was talking about the type of woman that he would be familiar with a Lori, with a Jessie, I'm talking about in general, not just in romantic terms. Those were the type of woman in his life. Michonne is not the type of woman uptown, living in a penthouse, confident, independent, chic, stylish, sophisticated. Michonne wasn't flannel wearing, her hair in the usual Americana style. Michonne has locks, and as we saw in her flashback episode, she was, oh my gosh, her outfit very bohemian, artsy, chic, and her locks were very stylish. Michonne was very stylish. That's not the type of woman that Rick is used to. So he's a bit intimidated by her, I would say. And the way he presents here, shy, a bit uncertain, hesitant, the way you'd behave around your crush. You know, you wouldn't be bold or confident or assured. And that's how he presented himself to her. And Michonne liked what she saw, and she was very pleased and let him know she liked it. She liked his look, and he shyly responded. He was blushing. I don't get, people see all of this, but again, people see what they want to see. People will close their eyes to what they don't want to see, or dismiss what they don't want to see. I think a lot of people know the story. Greg Nicotero directed this episode, and he and Denai Guerrero butted heads over this scene. Every time they did the scene, he objected because of the way Denai and Andy played the scene. He said Michonne was being too flirtatious. You notice he went in on Michonne. Why didn't he go in on Andy? They were both He was blushing and she smiled. He objected to them in that moment revealing too much of their characters' feelings for each other. But it was always that way. They went into Alexandria that way. I'm going to share something with you. I'm not a fan of Greg Nicotero. He's an artiste in that he was very good at what he does in the prosthetic makeup, creating the zombies and all of that stuff. Hats off to him. He wanted to direct and they gave him the opportunity, and he's directed quite a few of the episodes. I'm not a fan of his directing. It's my opinion, but I do think I'm right in this. I don't think he's a fan of Rick with Michonne. It makes no sense for him trying to shut down Rick and Michonne being authentic to who their characters are. Rick has been displaying his love for Michonne before they got to Alexandria. Why would he stop now? Yeah, there's a story arc coming where Rick is supposedly supposed to be with another character, but he just met the character. And as we all saw, he wasn't in his feelings about this character. He was in his feelings about where he was and the juxtaposition of the world and how it splintered the world for him, sort of merging the past with the present, and a present that he didn't trust. Why would Rick, with his group, with his family, the first night in a strange place, suddenly stop being who he is to and around Michonne, who is his family, his partner, his confidant? Nothing has happened yet to have him pull back from Michonne. So how can a director who is supposed to help the characters navigate the story tell the actors to skip the interim of the story, dismiss their characterization because something else may happen in the future? It made no sense. Denai stood her ground. He kept having them redo the scene. They kept playing it the same. The results were the same as the first take. Denai, who is a brilliant writer and who understands her character Michonne, stood her ground and played the scene as Michonne would behave. Greg Nicotero, he said when he was editing the scene, he submitted to the fact that Denai was right and they kept the first take. He wants to sell a different story. In my opinion, he was eager to tell the other story because that's the story he wanted for Rick. As I said, I don't think he's a fan of Rick and Michonne together, and there are going to be directional choices he makes in a few scenes. One famous scene that was not on the pages of the script, but he made the creative choice to put that in an attempt, in my opinion, to skew the narrative, a dead narrative, and it affected how people received what happened afterwards. It's like an attempt to throw a wrench into something he didn't approve of. But that is my opinion. It would be interesting to have someone directly ask him the question to see what his response is in the terms of his personal preference for Rick in the romantic department. Yeah, so this scene was lovely. It again just telegraphed and exposed Rick's feelings for Michonne. And Michonne's response also reveals her true feelings for Rick. But as Denai says, unbeknownst to Michonne, it's there. They love each other. They not only love each other, they are in love with each other. If my friend is in the bathroom brushing his teeth, I'm not standing waiting to show him my new hairdo and counting the minutes he's in the bathroom, because I can't wait for him to hear his opinion on my new look. Rick wasn't doing that for any of the group, any of the folks sitting around in that room. He was only waiting on one person, and he wanted her opinion, her take on his new look. Oh.
I get why we're playing it safe. We should. I have a good feeling about this place.
And she has very good instincts.
I hope you're right. Yeah, me too. I don't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to stop by and see how you're all settling, staying together. Absolutely amazing to me how people with completely different backgrounds and nothing in common can become that, don't you think? Everybody says you gave them jobs. Mm-hmm. You didn't give me one. I have. Same with Michonne. Well, good.
Rick can't sleep. Covered Carl and Noah. Look at him fiddling with the knife. He's so paranoid. Michonne.
This is how you're saying it is. And this is what we wanted. We're ready for this.
This is what you wanted, Michonne.
All of you?
No.
All of us.
You're speaking for them,
I said
Michonne.
explore. Let's explore. Lori and me. We used to drive through neighborhoods like this, thinking one day,
Oh. And here we are.
See, he is so in his feelings because it's like his past is merging with now, and he doesn't trust now. But everything about it, everything where they are, it reminds him of something of his life before. As I told you, Jesse is a Lori, and then they're in this place where Lori wanted to live in a place like this. Her husband didn't make that type of money, but that's Lori. Lori lived in a fantasy world. That's why she kept pushing Rick's button, because she wanted Rick to be with her a certain way, like be passionate, fight with her. He goes to work, he's about his work. She wanted attention. Lori was as we came to see in seasons 1 and 2 especially, she started changing and she started to get a little bit with the program in season 3. But Lori was self-centered, entitled, and very attention-seeking. Lori was a narcissist. Lori wanted Rick focused on her. Lori wanted Rick's attention. And one of the reasons why she wanted to keep Shane around, even while she was pretending that she was pushing him away, is because Shane gave her the attention that she wanted. Shane put her first. Lori wanted Rick to always put her first. She was his wife. He cared for her, but he's a three-dimensional human being that had other wants and desires for his life. He liked his work. He liked to serve other people. Lori wanted him to be all about her. And if she couldn't get Rick to do that, Shane did it for her. But even though Shane did it for her and she liked that, she wanted it from Rick also. She wanted it mainly from Rick, and because Rick wasn't giving her that supply, she didn't want to let go of it from Shane. And no, Lori did not love Shane. She wasn't in love with Shane. She loved that Shane put her first above everybody else. But ironically, Shane did that not because he was in love with her. Shane is another narcissist, and Lori and Carl were his supply. He found purpose in protecting them, and it made him feel good about himself. It gave him purpose. It gave him something to focus on other than what was going on in the world. I'm telling you, it's a lot of people give Shane credit where he doesn't deserve, because they tout Shane as this strong dude that did what needed to be done, and Rick was weak because Rick didn't, and all of that. Oh, please. Shane broke. Shane broke just like everybody else. He broke before Rick broke. Shane used Lori and Carl to anchor his sanity about what was going on in the world. So he focused on them. Keeping them safe sort of helped him not focus on whatever losses he had in the prior world, and that he had no control over what was going on in this world. He could control trying to keep Lori and Carl safe. So they were his narc supply. They satisfied that need and ego for Shane. And Shane satisfied that supply and need for Lori to be the center of attention, to be the person that Shane's world revolved around. But that was not enough. From before the apocalypse, she wanted that from Rick. And in the apocalypse, she wanted that from Rick. And Rick wasn't giving her that supply. Lori and Carl were his priority. But Lori was not the center of his world. Rick was not going to sacrifice his humanity to be at the beck and call of Lori. Lori was so entitled and self-centered. Andrea clocked it. Daryl clocked it. But I went off on a whole tangent. All this discussion that I'm doing now, I go even deeper in the Rick relationship series. But back to what I was talking about. Please pay attention to what Rick is saying about this place and about Lori.